Wait a second. Have you ever walked into a room and felt something shift but couldn't quite explain it? Like the air got heavier or a strange tension filled the space? That wasn't paranoia. That wasn't you overthinking. That was spiritual sensitivity kicking in. And guess what? You were right. You felt the probe and you passed the test. What you picked up wasn't random. It wasn't anxiety. It wasn't just a bad vibe. It was a subtle but strategic move by forces that wanted to check your temperature in the spirit. They weren't launching a war. They were poking, testing, waiting to see if their spiritual slingshot would land. Spoiler alert, it didn't. It bounced back so hard even they were stunned. I heard it in the spirit clear as day. A metallic swirl, a bowl filled with stones clinking as it spun. Sound strange? Maybe. But spiritually, that sound represented something weighty, something being stirred, not by accident but by intention, a calculated spiritual ping to see what you're really made of. Ever had a weird headache out of nowhere? An emotional fog for no reason? Or suddenly felt off, like someone pulled your energy without touching you? Yeah, that was part of it. That's the kind of test the dark realm sends when they're unsure who they're dealing with. They won't swing fully until they know if it's safe. But here's the kicker, it wasn't. The moment that energy reached your field, it got rejected. It didn't just fail, it got reversed. That spiritual tap on the door didn't open. It slammed shut with force, and the knockers are now nursing their fingers. That's how covered you are. They've realized you're not to be messed with. You're not just protected, you're spiritually firewalled. And this wasn't your doing. You didn't fight. You didn't even notice fully. But something higher stepped in, drew the boundary line and said, "Not this one." Now let's get to the part they weren't ready for, the consequences. When they tried to test your covering, they unknowingly triggered a divine alarm. Not loud in the physical, but a siren in the spiritual. And that alert activated a protection system they couldn't see, but absolutely felt. This wasn't some big dramatic hex with candles and chanting. This was quiet, sneaky, calculated, but even that couldn't slide through the cracks. The Most High saw it coming before they even thought of it. So what happened? The bounce back, the recoil, the spiritual slap on the wrist that left them shaken. And here's where it gets serious. The one who tried it, a male practitioner, possibly symbolic or literal in origin, is no longer curious. He's terrified because he realized something most people never see until it's too late. You're not just spiritually covered, you're spiritually sealed. That bounce back came with a warning shot. Heaven made it clear. This isn't someone you touch without permission. This isn't someone you play with casually. When you tested this one, you tested the system that protects them, and that system clapped back. In the spirit, I saw chaos unraveling among them, finger-pointing, accusations, even backtracking. No one wants to stand next to the person who stirred the pot anymore. It's giving, "I told you not to mess with them, but you didn't listen," energy. And listen closely. This wasn't just a lesson for them. This was a confirmation for you. Everything you felt this past week, the shift in your body, the dreams, the uneasiness, it wasn't coincidence. It was spiritual alertness. You weren't losing your mind. You were tuning in. What you carry is so powerful they didn't even dare go full force. That should tell you everything. They feared what would come back, not just to them, but to their entire bloodline. Because make no mistake, spiritual decisions can ripple through generations. They tried to crack your shield, but instead they cracked their own illusion. They thought you were unguarded. They thought maybe your light was dimming. But when they tested it, they saw, nah, your glow is high voltage. And it burns anything that comes too close with the wrong intention. They're backing off now. But not because you shouted. Not because you fought, because something much bigger than you stepped in. Because your silence spoke louder than their spells. Let's be real. When something doesn't work, manipulators and spiritual oppressors usually double down. But this time, they're walking backward with wide eyes. They've realized messing with you is like poking a lion behind a divine gate. So what do you do now? Rest, breathe, laugh even, yes, laugh, because you've already won a battle you didn't even know was happening. That's how protected you are. This was never your fight. It was heaven's shutdown mission. You are marked, and you are moving forward without interference. Let the whispers continue. Let the doubters fall away. Let those who plotted now panic. You are surrounded, elevated, and defended. The more they test you, the more your rank becomes evident. You are not just anyone, you are not ordinary, and you are no longer hidden. The spirit realm knows now, and so do they. So if you've been feeling that tension, that shift, that weird emotional spike, it's okay. It was just your warning light flickering. Now that you know the truth, walk confidently. And hey, subscribe to this channel. This is Angelic Soul, where we expose the unseen, empower the chosen, and elevate the shielded. And now repeat this prayer with me. In the name of God, I declare over my life that every hidden threat, seen or unseen, is exposed before it can take root. No shadow formed against me will take hold. Let every plan spoken in secret, every scheme birthed in envy, be dismantled before it breathes. My life is not open to confusion, sabotage, or deception. I walk under divine surveillance that reveals what others attempt to hide. I call forth clarity in my thoughts and peace in my soul. I release all fear and allow grounded confidence to rise in its place. I silence every internal and external voice that questions my worth, my direction, or my protection. May my mind remain sharp, my spirit light, and my heart at ease. In every situation, I choose trust over panic, presence over pressure. Let every spiritual probe, projection, or false attachment sent in my direction return to its origin, with no place to land. I am sealed, guarded, and inaccessible to energy that is not aligned with truth and peace. My space is not a resting place for manipulation or confusion. I walk in discernment and authority, guided by forces greater than any human intent. I now release anxiety, confusion, and heaviness from my mind and body. In their place, I receive a wave of peace that surpasses understanding. Let my environment be calm, my spirit be still, and my energy be high. I pray that those who seek to disrupt me become distracted by their own unraveling, their efforts lost in the wind of divine reversal. And so I walk forward into my next chapter with full assurance. I am watched, guided, and surrounded by sacred protection. No lie can linger, no curse can stick, and no manipulation can hold me. What was meant to harm me dissolves into dust. I am untouchable, not by force, but by my unwavering divine alignment. In the name of God, it is done. Amen.